Okay guys, let's take a look at our lesson for today. We're going to be looking at area of triangles. Now, we have been working with area of triangles for many years now, right? We know how to find the area of a triangle, half base times height. We're just going to be adding to that. In Precal with trigonometry, we have another option available to us, half BC sine A. So I want to talk about that for just a second because it's really important that we have the proper, it's lined up properly. Basically, these sides, the angle A has to be the included angle for those sides. And I'm just going to remind you what that means. I'm sure you all remember from geometry. You know, what if we say we have a triangle? If I have this side given and this side given, I have to use this angle. Okay, so that means, this is what that means, so the included angle. So it would be like a side angle side. You would have to have that configuration. If you don't, you would have to take steps to get that configuration, or you're not going to be able to use this particular formula. Okay, so that's the key with this one is it has to be the included angle in the formula right there. Okay, so that's the first area formula we're looking at. The second one is Heron's formula, and you may have already had experience with this. I don't know if y'all did this in geometry or not, but Heron's formula requires that we have all of the side lengths. So we don't need any angle measures to do Heron's formula. We just need all of the side lengths. And there's a kind of a different concept here with the semi-perimeter. I know we all know what a perimeter is. This formula uses a semi-perimeter, which is basically, you know, you add all the sides, because you have to have all the sides to be able to do this formula. You add them all up and divide by 2. That's your semi-perimeter. And that number, it appears here first. It's going to multiply by each one of these little parentheses. You have the semi-perimeter times, you know, side measure A, or minus, excuse me, semi-perimeter minus A, semi-perimeter minus B, and then you take it from the third one, minus C. So that each side is represented with the semi-perimeter first, semi-perimeter minus each side, and then they're just multiplied. So you can tell this is really going to be a calculator lesson, right? We really wouldn't want to or need to do all of that by hand. So hopefully you have your calculators with you today. We will be using them. Before I move on to the examples, I want to make sure, are there any questions about these formulas in general before we move on? Okay, so let's just take a look at our examples. Okay. So I always encourage you to draw the triangle. I just think that's helpful. The first one is triangle HPJ, so let's draw that one. Okay, we're given side H is 5, side P is 7, and side J is 11. Okay, on this particular one, I think you can see that we are lining up to do Heron's formula. Right there, just all we have are all of the sides. We don't have any angle measures, or really any way to find an angle measure. So, but we can find the area. So our area is going to be, we need the semi-perimeter, right? That's like the first thing in the area formula for Heron's, the semi-perimeter. So let's calculate it. So the semi-perimeter is going to be the sum 11 plus 5 plus 7, the sum of all of the sides, and then we're going to divide by 2. You know, multiply by a half, however you want to think about it. It's half of the perimeter. So we do that, we calculate the semi-perimeter, and it is 23 halves. Or you could use a decimal, you don't have to use a fraction, whatever you like. So now we're ready to fill out our formula. So we start with the semi-perimeter, 23 over 2, and then we're going to start with the little parentheses where we subtract. So we have 23 over 2 minus 11. We have 23 over 2 minus 5. And we have 23 over 2 minus 7. Okay, so we just enter all of that into our calculator. And when we do that, we're going to get 12.9687. So let's round that. So 12.969. Now, if they gave us units, we would need to put the units squared. You know, let's say that was in feet. We would need to say feet squared. But when they don't give you any units, you don't have to say u squared or anything. You don't need to do that. Just leave it as a number. So, but if they do give you units, you certainly do need to indicate that. Okay, so that's our very first Heron's formula. Are we okay with that? Yes? Okay. Well, let's look at this second one. So we have triangle ABC. Let's see what we have. So the measure of angle B is 64 degrees. The measure of angle C is 38 degrees. And side B is 9. Well, right now we don't have enough information to use either formula, right? We don't have all the sides, and we don't have the angle, side angle side. We need another side. Now, it really doesn't matter which side you want to find. You know, it doesn't matter. So we definitely are going to need the third angle, though, to be able to do that. So we know we would just do 180 minus 64 minus 38, and that's 78 degrees. All right. So I did sine of 64 over 9, okay, equals. I decided to find side A. Again, I didn't have to. I could have found side C if I wanted to. It's just totally up to you. All right, so I found side A. So then sine 78 over A. Okay, so I solved. We cross multiplied. A sine 64 equals 9 sine 78. So A is 9.794. Okay, remember, leave the decimals in your calculator. Don't do any intermediary rounding or your answer is going to be off by, as much as a tenth or even, so we don't want to do that. Just leave all the numbers in there. So now we have this. We have side, angle, side. I have to use, if I'm going to use side A, I have to use this angle. I don't get to just randomly pick which angle I use, right? So just be sure that we have the proper setup. Okay, so the area is going to be half. And so I'm using these side measures with their included angle. So half times 9 times 9.794, all of those decimals. Sine of 38 degrees. So we put that in our calculator, and we need to make sure we're in degree mode. We put it in our calculator, and we get 27.1357, or rounding 27.136. And again, they didn't give us any units, so we wouldn't put units squared. There's no need to do that. Okay, so that's basically what we are faced with today with area. And you're probably thinking, wow, yesterday, law of sines, law of cosines, that was kind of fun. Today, area, what could we be preparing for? We're going to bring them all together. I think that is tomorrow where we get to do it. Yes, fantastic. Oh, it's Monday where we bring them all together. Well, ambiguous case. Ambiguous case is Monday. And then we bring everything together on Tuesday. It's going to be great. Okay? Questions? Okay.